Hey everyone, it is time for block 13 of our Joyful Gatherings Quilt-Along. And I'm not going to lie to you, block 13th is going to be a little bit more challenging to cut. But once you're cut out, everything is a 1/4 inch seam allowance and it should go smoothly. But I know some of you are nervous about some of these different cutting measurements, and I will go through where exactly those are on your ruler. Right. For letter D, it is 1 9/16. So I'm just going to quick show you where 1 9/16 is on your ruler. Now you're going to put your ruler right down there, and 9/16 is bigger than a half, but less than 5/8. So it's right in the middle of 5/8 and 1/2. So you're going to cut that all the way around. So that's the first weird measurement. Then next we have 1 7/16. So my strip is already 1 7/16. I'm going to cut the other way for you. So 7/16 is a smidge below a half. So I'm going to find my half, and then I'm going to go in between the half and 3/8. Now my rulers are unique because it has the 3/8, it has all those measurements for you right there. I know it doesn't have 16ths, but we rarely use those. So I'm going to line that up right on the middle between the half and the 3/8, and then I'm going to cut. There's no mass cutting these. You have to cut them one at a time. So I'm going to line that up, go in the middle, see right there in the middle, evenly space that. Get your readers on so you can see very good. All right. Now each one of these needs to get cut in half diagonally as well. So you can do that individually, or you can just layer them and cut them at once. But you know what? Sometimes taking the time to layer them and get them exactly straight takes longer than just to cut them corner to corner. All right, so that's that unit. Then we also have one measurement, 2 5/16 for our flying geese units as well. So that is this piece right here. I have it ready to cut. So 2 5/16 is a smidge bigger than a 1/4. So 4/16 is a 1/4. So 5/16 is in between the 1/4 and 3/8. So I'm going to line that up there. Make sure I got the right piece. (5/16) right in between the 1/4 and the 3/8. Now this unit gets cut in half twice diagonally. And then last we have 1 1/16. So I already cut this strip 1 1/16 this way. Now I need to cut them apart. So 1/16 is bigger than 1 inch, but less than 1/8. So again, right in between the 1/8 and the 1. And I'm just have this doubled up, so I only need 2 cuts. There we go. And once you have everything cut, it's just going to go together just like any other of the blocks. All right, so let's figure out what I got here on my board. I have letter B, which is my size right here. I have D, my D square here, and then F is my 4 here, cut in half twice diagonally. All right, no, cut in half once. So we have 8 pieces. All right, then for the red fabrics, I have my A's here, my C's here, E is right here, and then my 4 squares there. All right, so we're gonna start off with these little tiny flying geese in the middle. So this is a star in a star turned on point. So it's a little bit more difficult, but you can do it. So let's start off with, I need my E and my F units. So F is the 4 squares of cream. That's these little guys right here. All right, I got those there. And then I need the red, which is going to be E, making sure this is all right. So those are these ones right here. All right, 4 of those. I'm going to lay those right sides together, like so. And don't be concerned if that looks a little big. I thought it looked a little big too, but when I made the little test block, it all came out. So put that in. All right, I'm just going to finger press these open just to save a little time. Line up the second one. Remember, I don't trim my dog ears off until the unit is complete. So right now, this unit should be about 1 1/8 by 1, a smidge over 1 1/2. And it is. It's just right in that middle, that 9/16. All right. So you can do that, but they look good to me, so I'm just going to clip them. All right, now I have my fluorifying geese, and we're going to start to make our little star. So there's my 9/16 there, and my 4 little corners. All right. press that to the center. All right, so these are going to go to the outside, finger press, and these are going to go to the middle, finger press. It's coming along nicely. There we go. Don't even need pins, it fits just perfect in there. Everything nesting. Looks good. Now we're going to press this open because we don't want all of that bulk of all those seams going in one direction. So I'll just give it a quick little finger press, grab my stick, lay that on there. So right at this point, this should measure 2 3/4. So I'm going to put that there. Yeah, I got nothing hanging out there. I got a little wobble there. That's because I didn't pin, but it's going to be all right. All right, so I'm just going to leave that there and now work on the next unit. So now I need the squares, kind of on point here. I need 2 of them. And I'm going to add this right here, 2 of them like that. Okay. Hopefully nothing will stick to my shirt. Push it up. Okay. I'm going to center that like so. And then the other one goes on like that. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Trim that off. All right, so these are going to go on here like so. So this have to be 2 3/4 as well. So see how I got a little bit of red showing? Perfectly fine with that. Nobody sews perfect. I hate to break that to you. 1 on each end. I'm just centering that in there. I can always trim a little off later. right, again, I'm going to open up these two seams, starting with that finger press. It just helps just to do that, especially when they're so short and little. Okay, next unit. So now I have two more here, some red. All right, so I need to do red this way, cream that way, and then the opposite direction. Cream that way and red this way. And then that's going to go in there. All right, so I'm going to stitch these together first. Make sure you sew the short side and not that long diagonal. Open. You could go to the dark if you wanted to. I just like to open these. All right, so now we're going to put these two, line that up just like so on that right angle. Everything's lining up really good, looking good here. So this I'm just going to push to the square. See how that works for me. All right, then I'm going to add, let's see, how did that go now? Make sure I sewed it right? That way, there we go. So this one's going on this way now. So we're going to line up this right angle here. So I can either push that to the square or I can open that as well. So that's another choice there you have. You can cut off some dog ears if you want. I tend to not sometimes. Only on fabrics that it could be seen through, which it's not going to be any of these. All right. I'm excited. It looks like it's going together good here. Kind of a stringy design board there. So see how that's going to go there and that's going to go there. All right, so everything looks good. So I'm just going to trim off that little dog ear there. And then I'm going to line up. I'm not going to worry about the middle. I'm going to worry about my seam right here. I'm going to pin those. you have to move it over a little bit, move it over. Get it right so they line up good. There's a little bit of bias in some of this stuff. Take a peek, so I'm looking right here and right there. That looks good. Do the second side. And it helps if you pin these little corners to make sure you hit that nicely. All right, I didn't lop off any points. And I do sometimes when I see that I do have a little bit extra there, I don't trim it. I'd rather have it float and see a little bit of white than to cut off a point. I'm going to open these two seams then. So I kind of open it with the iron and then I give it steam. All right, so now all we have to do is trim this up and it should be ready to go. Now 5 inches is what we need. So I'm just going to clean up one side first. Make sure my 1/4 inches are all intact, and they are. They look lovely. Now I'll go to this side, and you see how, because we have some bias stuff going on here, which our starch really helps with that, but I'm just going to put that, so I'm putting point here, and I'm just going to clean up that middle. But if I do that, I'm going to cut off a little bit of that. So I'm just going to be very careful of how much I'm going to trim. I can ease that in if it's a little bit bigger than cutting off a point. I hope that makes sense. Because these don't ever come out like perfect, but pretty close. One more side. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna be, there's the 5, 1, 2, 3. It looks like I'm a smidge big, but I'm gonna leave that. I'm not gonna trim that off. I could, but I'd rather deal with a little bit. See that? And I do have some room on this side. Let's trim it off. Let's trim on this side a little bit, and then it'll be spot on 5 inches. There, that little bit. All right, see, it was not that bad. I got a little bit of fixing to do back here on my pressing open, but other than that, there you go. A star and a star on point. Super cool, all right? You can do this. Now, remember, cut accurately, stitch as accurately as you can, and it'll work. All right, get to it.